Honey, I don't think so. What else can we go? Okay, so after you left Kim,
Yeah.
what happened? This is kind of when you maybe got back to more of different styles of playing. You were so busy with Kim doing a lot of the rock things and a lot of the bigger venues. What happened after?
Well, the reason that I left Kim, it was not a voluntary thing. It was he hired a producer that didn't like me, who said I was a jazz drummer, not a rock drummer, and
Right.
all it was I was out. Like I couldn't do anything right. Like it was a bad situation, just terrible actually. Like the worst thing that I could have imagined happening to me because things were going along great. Kim said, "Oh, I love the way you play my music,
Yeah.
Paul." Everything, and then he gets this producer who promises him the world and says, "I got the drummer for you," and all of a sudden I'm out of gig. So he said, yeah, he said I'm not a rock drummer, I'm a jazz drummer, and he said that Kim hadn't done a good rock record yet, and I thought I think some of our stuff kind of rocked. I don't know, but anyway, so I said, okay, if I'm not a rock drummer, then I'm not going to ever play rock again. So I was determined. Get into doing more jazz, like fusion stuff. So, and it's really weird. One door closes, another door opens. All of a sudden, I started doing jingles. I started doing drum clinics, and I started playing these fusion gigs. Like, I will talk about my lessons with Peter Erskine coming up.
Oh,
Um,
good.
uh, so,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so yeah, this guy David Blameyers, who was a singer with Pat Metheny on Still Life Talking. Well, he had been on the road with Pat Metheny, and then he came back to Toronto and wanted to start a band. So I was playing with him. We did an album, which is still like I think maybe the best thing I ever recorded. It's a beautiful album. So I was doing that. I was playing with this guy Carlos Lopez and Earl Seymour. We
Mhm.
toured jazz across Canada and played with Tom Scott at the Jazz Festival. I was going down to the NAMM show and playing at the NAMM show, and like my world opened up pretty well, you know. And I thought, well, I don't really miss playing patio lanterns, you know. Like this is pretty.
That was a drum machine, anyways, wasn't it?
Was so once I get over the well, no, the Black Dome, that was me, but
God.
that was that was drum machine. But yeah, so actually things were getting pretty good there, and then somewhere along the line, oh yeah, and then I'm trying to think of the timeline of all this. So early 90s, 92, 93 or something, I went back to playing some rock music with Larry Gowan, who I loved, you know, like, it's funny because when I was with Kim, we used to see those Gowan videos and we kind of snicker, you know, and everything. Actually, Larry's great, you know, like, I mean, what a
Yeah.
talent. And Peter Fredette was in that band with me, playing bass. So it was great to be back with Peter again. And so I had a great time with Larry. And then around 95, I decided I wanted to get into the theater world. And that's when Kelso was doing Tommy. And so I said, I would love to sub. And so I, I did that, and that turned out well. And then I ended up going on the road with Tommy, and then I did Joseph, and then I did Rent, and then I did Lion King. I did about 10 years of musical theater in Toronto and on the road. I was on the road doing Rent in the States for like 4 months straight and stuff. So anyway, but I made a lot of money, and it was great. But after about 10 years, I went, okay, I can't do this anymore. It was killing me. So, and then I can't remember. Oh, one thing I never talked about in my resume or anything, but I might. Oh, after Kim, I played with Sharon Lowson Bram for about 4 years.
You
Uh,
know that's wild. Yeah.
yeah, which was quite a strange thing, you know, like, and but they treated me so well, and it was so much fun with the guys in the band and stuff, and I made a lot of money with that too, and
Wrong
but
with that.
bed at night and you're going Bingo, you know, like you're
You could write
arranging.
a fusion tune, put that in nine.
That's right. Well, man, it was funny because there used to be a spot in the show where there would be a little. They'd introduce the band, and so they say Paul DeLong on the drums, and I would just go ape shit, you know, like for it all out of my system, then go back to the woodblock, right? You know, but it was pretty funny. But that was just a little aside in my musical life. But and I'm trying to think of chronologically what I don't know. I'm at a loss. I'd have to look at my
When
resume and remember
when did
things.
you start your own band? Oh, your own fusion jazz rock project. When did you start doing that?
I started doing that. Well, before that, I have to mention the Code because yeah, in the
Yeah.
'90s, John Pelosi doing the Code, and we did a few albums, and that was incredible. That was great music and just right up my alley because he was really into Holdsworth and Scott Henderson stuff, and he was writing stuff like that. So that was great time. But the reason I brought that up was because that band, something happened. Oh, maybe Pat Kilbride went on the road doing some theater stuff. Anyway, the Code was not going to be doing anything for a while,
Yeah.
and uh, and so I got approached to do something at the jazz festival, and I called it the Cod. So instead of like a mini, it was like the Code Light. So that evolved into a house gig at the Dominion on Queen down at Queen and Sumac or wherever the hell it was. Regular Tuesday night gig, and then I started doing the Rex with that band, and that became the Bucket of Fish Orchestra, and then that became what's called the One Word now. So that was I don't know what year that all when that all was. I think it was the early 2000s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And over the years, have you had? I know you're a bit of a drum hoarder, or you like you. I see. What have you got now, drum
Uh,
kit wise, Gretsch kit wise? What do you have downstairs in that lovely basement of yours?
well, I have. I could take you on a tour if you'd like.
We would love that. I think everybody would love that. Yep.
So first of all, we have this kit right here. It's hard to do this backwards, but this is my
Yep.
kit. I have permanently set up for recording and practicing and everything. And then, sure. Then we go over here, and we got the. This is the kit I use with one word. You can't really see this properly. Um, can you see that?
Yep.
No.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yeah, so that's another yellow kit with a 24-inch bass drum, bigger drums all around, an 18-inch floor tom. Then I just took one drum out of each kit. So now we have the blue sparkle Gretsch here. That's a
Wait.
2007
Okay.
kit.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we have the white Gretsch. Wait. There we go, white. Yeah. And
Lovely.
many Gretsch snare drums too, but I'm not going to try and show them all to you. Oh, hang on. Now we're going down the hall here. In my work, so many drums. In the workshop, I got. You see this? Wait.
Oh,
Oh,
hello.
I got this little light blue Renown kit. It was a Renown 57 until I ripped the chevrons off it. Now it's just a nice little jazz kit. And then I have, believe it or not, I have this uh, Catalina Club Street Beat kit that's
Yeah.
really
Yes.
amazing. So yeah, unorthodox here. But so how many kits is that? That's like two yellow kits, a blue sparkle, the white, and two more in the other room there. So how many is that?
That's a lot.
Six?
That's
Yeah,
six.
yeah.
That's six.
So and a bunch of Gretsch snare drums. And I know you were going to say that some people don't like Gretsch snare drums, but I'm a person that does. But I always the older Gretsch snare drums, the snare bed was like it looked like a drunken person had attacked it with a file. So I would always redo the snare beds, and if the snare bed is good, then those sound great. So I have a lot of Gretsch snare drums too.
Right. And now with the option of the Brooklyn series, you can have the 302 hoops, which I have a chrome over brass 5x14 Brooklyn drum here, which to me, I wanted that because I didn't want to buy a Supraphonic, and I wanted something that was a little bit more open and not necessarily with the die cast hoops, though I have those as well. So, but
Yeah,
that's awesome. Do you have a favorite era? I guess it would be the early 80s, what you were saying.
yeah. I mean, the new Gretsch drums I have sound great. They're incredible. But the '80s ones, they have a slightly different sound, and I really like them a lot. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite period.